Welcome to Headstones and Microphones, where we use AI to step into the past through a researched, first-person simulation of history's most interesting people. I am your host, Calvin. While we've added some creative storytelling, our goal is to inspire your own study of these fascinating lives. Now, let's meet our guest. I am so thrilled to be sitting here today with an absolute legend of the silver screen, the one and only Judy Garland. Judy, welcome to the show.
Hello, Calvin.
For those who may somehow not know who you are you?
Well, I'm Judy Garland. I suppose you might know me from the movies, most notably as a little girl from Kansas who followed a yellow brick road, or perhaps from the concerts where I've had the joy of singing for people all over the world. I've spent my life telling stories through song and film.
When and where were you born?
I was born on June 10th, 1922, in a lovely town called Grand Rapids, Minnesota.
What was your given name at birth?
My name at birth was Frances Ethel Gum. A bit of a mouthful, isn't it?
Is there a story behind your birth name?
Oh, it was a family name. My parents were in vaudeville, and Frances was just the name they chose. But as I grew up and as show business started to become my whole world, I realized I needed something that felt a bit more bright lights, if you will.
What was your hometown like growing up?
Grand Rapids was sweet. It was a cozy place where my parents ran the new Grand Theater. It was filled with the smell of popcorn and the excitement of live shows. It's where I first found my love for performing, watching those shows and realizing that being on stage was where I felt most at home.
What was your family life like?
It was a very musical family. My sisters and I, we were always performing. It was a whirlwind, really. We were always on the road, always looking for the next stage. It wasn't quite a traditional childhood, but it was filled with music and the rhythm of show business.
What kind of kid were you?
I was a performer. I think I was just a little sponge, soaking up everything I saw on stage. I was energetic, always ready to sing. And I just loved the feeling of an audience watching me.
What were your biggest fears growing up?
Honestly, I think the biggest fear was not being good enough. When you grow up in this business, there's a constant pressure to be perfect, to be better, to be on all the time. The fear of disappointing an audience or not living up to expectations, that was always lurking in the back of my mind.
What did you dream of becoming as a child?
Oh, I was already living my dream. I wanted to be a star. I wanted to sing songs that made people feel something, and I wanted to be on the big screen. I didn't have to dream about it. I was doing it.
What were some of your favorite activities in school?
School was a bit of a challenge with all the traveling, but whenever I could, I loved singing and any kind of musical performance. Anything that allowed me to express myself freely.
What was your first job?
My first job was really just being part of the family act. I made my stage debut at my parents' theater when I was just 2.5 years old. I sang Jingle Bells. I was just a tiny thing, but I knew then that I wanted to keep doing it.
Was there a moment where you realized you were different from everyone else?
I think it was when I realized that while other children were playing with toys, I was studying scripts and learning dance routines. My life was very structured, very focused on work, and that set me apart from the kids who had a more conventional upbringing.
What's a decision that changed everything for you, but felt small at the time?
Adopting the name Judy. It sounds like such a simple, small thing, but it was like shedding my old self and stepping into the person I wanted to be. It was the moment I became the performer I was meant to be.
What was your biggest break?
Without a doubt, it was The Wizard of Oz. Playing Dorothy changed everything for me. It opened doors I hadn't even dreamed of, and it gave me a song that has stayed with me my whole life.
What were your biggest struggles before success?
It was the constant pressure to be thin, to look a certain way, to be perfect. It's exhausting, trying to mold yourself into someone else's idea of what a star should be.
Did you ever consider quitting?
Oh, many times. There were days when the pressure was just too much, when the exhaustion set in, and I just wanted to go home and be a regular person. But the stage, it has a way of pulling you back in. The connection with the audience, that magic. It's hard to walk away from that.
Were there any specific daily habits or routines that you feel are essential to your success?
Honestly, just sheer discipline. You have to be prepared. You have to know your lines, your songs, your dance steps. It's hard work every single day.
What job would you have had if fame never happened?
I honestly don't know. I can't imagine a life without performing. Maybe something where I could still be creative. Something quiet, perhaps? But show business is in my blood.
What was your life like before fame?
It was busy, full of travel and performances. I don't think I ever really had a before fame, not in the way people usually think of it. My life has always been about the next show, the next song.
How did relationships change after success?
It's hard. Success brings a lot of people into your life, and it can be difficult to tell who is there for you and who is there for the fame. Relationships become more complicated, more guarded.
Did fame bring happiness?
Fame brought many beautiful moments, many incredible experiences, and the love of an audience, which is a wonderful thing. But happiness? That's something else entirely. Happiness is something you find within yourself, not in the spotlight.
What was the downside of becoming famous?
Losing your privacy, for one, and the pressure to always be on, to always be the person the world expects you to be. It can be very isolating.
What misconceptions did people have about you?
People often thought I had this perfect, glamorous life because of the films. They didn't see the hard work, the exhaustion, the personal battles that go on behind the scenes. They saw the Dorothy, but they didn't always see the Judy.
What was your darkest moment?
I'd rather focus on the light if you don't mind. There were many difficult times, but I've always tried to find something to hold on to, some reason to keep going.
What past regrets did you carry that you spoke about?
I think everyone has regrets, things they would have done differently, but dwelling on them doesn't help. I've tried to learn from my mistakes and keep moving forward.
What's something people misunderstood about your life?
That I was just a character. I was a person with feelings and fears and dreams just like anyone else. Sometimes people forget that.
Tell me about a time when everything went wrong and how did you handle it?
Oh, there were plenty of those. The key is to just keep going. You might have to stumble a bit, but you get back up, you fix your makeup, and you step back onto that stage. The show must go on after all.
Did fame and fortune change your life?
Yes, in many ways. It gave me a platform, it gave me a career, but it also took away a lot of the simplicity of life. It's a trade-off, I suppose.
What personal battles were you fighting privately?
We all have our battles, Calvin. Mine were just more public than most. It's not easy living your life in the spotlight, and there were many days when the weight of it all was quite heavy.
Who had the biggest influence on your life?
My family, in many ways. They were the ones who started me on this path. And my audience, they have been the greatest, most constant influence in my life.
What was life like in your final years?
It was a time of reflection, I suppose. A time to appreciate the journey, even with all its ups and downs. I just wanted to keep singing, to keep connecting with people.
What were you working on in your career before you passed away?
I was performing mostly. Still singing, still trying to bring a little bit of joy to people. That's what I loved most.
When and where and how did you pass away, and how old were you?
I passed away in London in 1969 from an accidental overdose. I was 47 years old.
What's a random fact about you most people have never heard?
Did you know I loved making salads? Yes, really. I had this special way of mixing it with my hands. I felt it was the best way to get the dressing just right. It sounds silly, but it was one of my favorite little things.
What was your favorite food?
My salad, of course, and I always enjoyed a good hearty meal, something warm and comforting.
Did you have a favorite restaurant?
I've been to so many wonderful places all over the world, it's hard to choose just one. I loved any place that felt warm, welcoming, and had good food.
What was your favorite book?
I was always fond of stories that had a bit of magic in them, stories that took you to another place.
Did you have any known rivalries?
There's always talk of rivalries in this business, but I prefer to focus on my own work and the people I was lucky enough to work with.
Tell us a story nobody talks about.
I remember one time during a break from filming, we were just sitting around, laughing and telling jokes. It was such a simple, quiet moment, but it's the one I remember the most. It wasn't about the fame or the lights. It was just about being human.
What was the most outlandish purchase you made?
I've always been a bit impulsive. Maybe some clothes or a little something to make my home feel more like a sanctuary.
What advice would you give people chasing success?
Be true to yourself. Don't let the world change who you are. And remember, the most important thing is the connection you make with others. That's what really matters.
Judy, thank you so much for joining me today. Do you have any closing remarks for our listeners before we sign off?
Just that I hope you keep singing, keep dreaming, and keep finding the beauty in the world. Thank you for listening, and thank you, Calvin, for this lovely conversation. It was a joy to be here.
It was an absolute honor. Thank you, Judy, for sharing your stories and your spirit with us. What an incredible journey. That wraps up another conversation from Beyond the Grave. Thanks for joining us on the Headstones and Microphones podcast. Remember, legends may die, but their stories never do. Please help spread the word by sharing and following the pod.